And back in the studios, Lisa Waters-Lain. We give her this entire segment just to, well, just share her garden knowledge, just get some insider tips from a different perspective. That's the beauty about gardening.
Mm-hmm.
You get 10 gardeners in a room and you'll get ask any question, you get 12 answers. It's like there's always there's a creative way to do everything.
That is
So
true.
it's good to have a different artist's perspective. And I see you as a true artist, my dear. You've put together combos and fragrances that are amazing.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking of fragrances, so
Yes.
this morning, because I was at the garden center early, and I was out doing some stuff out in the nursery yard, and I was over by the honeysuckle. So we have probably 4 different kinds of honeysuckle right now out in the nursery yard. And oh my goodness, did it smell so good.
Yeah.
I just kind of stood over there for a while.
I mean, honeysuckles as a kid,
Yeah.
I used to take the Hall's honeysuckle, the yellow one, just take the stamens out and suck the nectar. It's sweet. And so it's a pollinator type of vine.
Mm-hmm.
It grows really well. Animals don't seem to bother it. And so it's got a lot going on for it.
Oh, definitely.
Deep rooted. So they tend to be really robust in a landscape. You'll water them like you would a tree, or just put on that same irrigation cycle of trees and shrubs, and they'll just thrive out there in the landscape.
Definitely. Well, it just kind of reminded me that gardening is very much a senses. You're touching all the senses when you're out there. You're seeing and touching, you're smelling. What are all the other 5 senses? Tasting. Don't taste very much.
Well,
unless
you got
know
the
what you're
harvest,
tasting.
the vegetable stuff's
Just
going
make
on,
sure
or herbs.
You know what you're tasting.
Yeah, mushrooms are so good. I like the pretty ones.
But yeah, just very sensing, and it just felt so good to be out there. It was early, nobody was in yet, and I was like, "Oh, this is nice."
The garden center is magical. This beginning or ending at the end of the day when the sun is it's just setting, and hummingbirds are out, butterflies are thick. It's a beautiful time. In fact, we should do a mention. September 17th, we are having a garden party here at Waters Garden Center.
Cool.
It's the biggest. It's the 17th annual Grapes for Good event. We partner with Prescott Frontier Rotary, and we just give them the garden center after hours, and they've partnered with Barry Barb, El Gato Tormes, very famous chef in town. He prepares wines with the food, and it's kind of a who's who, and they raise, I think last year $129,000 for local kind of, from math and reading clinics during the summer to helping seniors get that last credit, to leadership clubs after hours at the high schools. They do a lot of good with it, but it's all with this September 17th. Please come. It's kind of a fun, bring a friend. It's just great food, great.
And you get tickets online. Right?
Yeah, PrescottFrontierRotary.com goes right there. You can, there's Grapes for Good. It'll be September 17th, 5 to 8 o'clock. There's some great, it's a fundraiser. So they've got auction items like, I think the one I want to bid on this year is Napa Valley bed and breakfast tour kind of thing. I think they've got Italy villas, all kinds of stuff out there. Nice. Golf, of course, golf. I'm not a golfer, but I'll buy golf packages for my golfer friends or student or staff members.
Sure.
But yeah.
It's a fun event. Yeah. Check it out. Prescott Frontier Rotary.
PrescottFrontierRotary.com, or just type in the search bar Prescott Frontier Rotary. It'll pop right up. They're well known. It's a big club. They had their 50th anniversary this year, but they've been doing this event here at the Garden Center for 17 years. It's amazing. Crazy. It's a long time.
Yes. Yeah. So back to gardening.
We should.
So it's that time of year when the midsummer, late summer, early fall things are starting to come in.
Yeah.
No, I don't have chrysanthemums yet, but I will. But there's so many other things you can put in right now. And a lot of the grasses are coming in.
Yeah.
And the grass is a great time to plant now so that you can enjoy them in your yard as we move into that late summer and fall. Yeah. So the big daddy, I think we've already kind of talked about it, is the pampas grass.
Okay.
So the big one that we get is actually called ivory feathers.
I thought you were going to call it Big Daddy Pampas grass.
Well, we can call it that if you want.
Ivory feather's probably better.
So ivory feathers is a great one for yards because it's actually considered a dwarf pampas grass. And even at that, the grassy part of it, the green part of it, easily gets 5 by 5,
Yeah.
maybe
Head
even
high,
a
I
little
always think of
taller.
it. Yeah.
And then it sends the plumes up another 2 feet or so. So we're talking 6-8 feet by the time it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So it does take a space in the yard. But it's certainly very beautiful out in the yard. And that's one, maybe you just need one. But I can tell you with grasses, they are always so much prettier when they're planted in groupings.
Yeah.
You kind of go, oh yeah, look at that. But you put a grouping of them together, 3 of them, 5 of them, 7 of them. Boy, it makes
It's
a
drama.
statement.
It acts as drama or design or style. It's not just a plant. Now it's style and design.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
I agree. And that goes from your big grasses down to your little grasses. But ivory feathers is the big daddy. Regal mist is another real pretty grass that I love here. It has nice dark green foliage, but it puts on a pinkish reddish hue plume to it. It's gorgeous when the sun's hitting it. You just kind of go, ooh, look at that.
Yeah, people will come in. I see a grass that's red.
Right.
It's got Regal Mint. There we go. That's the one. So that's the pretty one with the bright color to it. Most grasses are white or kind of straw colored flowers. That one's unique and that's got a bright pink to red.
Yeah. Very, very pretty grass. The little zebra grass, I think, is a very unique grass. I think it's about 3 by 4. Yeah. It's unique in its variegation on it. So it has kind of horizontal striping to it, which is unusual.
Like a zebra.
Like a zebra. But it's really, there again,
green and gold. That's the gold. The stripe is gold, right? So it's green leaf with a gold stripe bar going through it.
It's just very attractive out there. Again, when the sun hits it, colors hit it, it's very pretty. Yeah. The other one that I think we have in our yard is the blue dune grass, which has a kind of a silvery blue look to it, which is very attractive. Yeah. Kind of that different look, especially if you got a lot of green. It's just a different color, different texture out there. It has a kind of a thicker, whiter.
Very hardy. It's very robust. Full sun out there. It's been out there for years. It's beautiful.
So it's a real pretty one. So a lot of the grasses are starting to come in. Definitely time to check them out. Another one that I really like. I'm going to step down for a second.
I'll cover verbally over the airwaves while she picks up a plant, a red grass.
Technically a grass. It's a rush or
sedge.
A sedge is the other name for them. And then some people are like, well, it's brown.
No, it's red.
Like, I know, but it's really pretty, especially when you put it with other things.
Yeah.
So that's this one's the red.
Definitely red. On the camera, it's definitely
sedge,
red. Red fox sedge.
But put it with something else.
Oh, that's pretty. Yeah.
So this is a heuchera right now. They're gorgeous right now. The heucheras. And I love heucheras because they come in so many different colors, from light green. This one's about like a burgundy. There's butterscotch colors, so many different colors. Now, throw something else in there.
Oh, you're doing the combo thing. Very good. Ooh, that's very nice. Wow.
So this is an echinacea. It's a daisy type flower. It's bright yellow with a very dark kind of burgundy center. And see how it matches the heuchera and then that grass behind it.
Yeah, you took the eye of that flower, and that's the color that carries through the heuchera or coral bells, your grandparents called it. And then it's matching with the red grass. It all ties it all together. So red is the tie-in.
If you were to put that in a container, a pot, it would be so striking. Yeah. And it would last from now until...
Well, these are all perennials for a decade.
I'm saying color-wise. You get a lot of color usage out of it through the season. Definitely. So it's fun to kind of mix things in with your grasses. If you use them in a container, you can mix other things in with them and have them very attractive. And just because you see one thing, you're like, well, that's kind of ugly or weird looking. Get creative and mix some combos.
There are no ugly plants or weird plants at Waters Garden Center. There's some artistic plants are kind of unusual, but not weird. They're just pretty in their own way. I had a customer over, or their neighbor was looking over the fence going, what is that plant? With that huge weeping redwood in our
Oh.
backyard. And what is that? It's a Dr. Seuss tree.
It is.
It's really narrow, tall, and it kind of wilts over like a Dr. Seuss
Mhm.
at the top. It's probably 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's magnificent, but it's a interesting artistic piece.
Mhm.
Lisa, we are out of time. Thank you
are.
so much for sharing those creative ideas. Ken and Lisa Lain and the Mountain Gardeners. Be right back after this.